Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jungle of Cincinnati Bengals podcast brought to you by Blue Wire. My name is Owen Timmerding. Again, joined by Caroline Palmer. Caroline, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you? Last day of class? Done for the
Yeah, I'm done.
semester?
Done with college classes forever.
Oh, I've
So,
got one more semester left, but
well,
almost there.
yeah, I'm happy. And then no finals, so I got nothing
Oh,
going on. I'm
I have
done. I'm
4.
done. That's brutal. That's
Oh,
well,
I
I
know.
got more time to follow our favorite football team here, Cincinnati Bengals. That's perfect. So yeah, couple pretty light news week, I'd say. Nothing we talked about last week where we got through the draft, we got through the offseason push of free agency, but then when you think the NFL stuff is over, OTAs come. And then we're pretty
Oh,
much just right back into the swing of things when it comes to NFL football.
yeah.
So it
I mean, I
works
feel
out
like
great. Go ahead.
it's just been light across the board, I feel like, for everyone. I mean, I think in terms of who's been there and who hasn't, the Bengals have honestly, for the first time, I feel like in 5 years, have had a fairly quiet beginning to their
Totally.
season.
Totally. So like we talked about, there's optional, some OTAs started. Those were voluntary activities, and the big three were all there: Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins, all present, all active, all working the whole time at the practice. The one day Burrow wasn't there because he had prior obligations, which we'll talk about later. But some notable names that weren't there or were there but on the injury field. Charlie Jones was there, did not have his jersey on though. Dax Hill was on the rehab field. Zach Moss was not there, so dealing with that neck injury. Jermaine Pratt, who we both talked about, we think we've seen the end of his Bengals career. He's in this trade request dispute. Eric All hurt, and I believe he had some setbacks on his injury as well.
Mhm.
Trey Hendrickson, his contract ordeal, and BJ Hill was there, but in a boot. So other than that, Bengals are pretty much full go for these OTAs.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I've seen a lot of videos everywhere that everyone's there. I think the big sigh of relief is I feel like Chase or Higgins has always had some type of
Mhm.
reasoning as to not going. I think it's a huge sign. And I said off camera, I think this is huge that everybody is there because especially some of these bigger names, they don't have to go, but they all are choosing to show up, which I think is a huge testament to the character of the team and the direction of which
I
they're
agree.
going. It means a lot of the players are truly behind the message right now. Obviously, from an outside perspective, we don't know what that is. We don't know what the direction is going to go in. But all we can say right now is that the players are bought in, which is always a positive side when you're looking at it from an outside perspective. And nobody really knows what's going on right now. So, but I think that's definitely a great sign.
Totally. Yeah, I agree. And we've talked about this before. The Bengals get off to these painfully slow starts. And the way to avoid that kind of stuff is showing up to these off-season lifts, working out together. I mean, Jamar Chase well could easily be in Miami right now. He doesn't need to be
Mhm.
there. And Joe Burrow was in Miami last week, but it's these guys decided to come show up, even if it's just for a couple days. They're here, they're in Cincinnati, and they're bought into the system. And this is how you avoid those frustrating and painstakingly slow starts to the season, because then you're kind of already ready to go by the time week one comes along. We've seen the Bengals just have these sluggish starts, or they look like they haven't touched a football in 4 weeks for the first half month of the season. So it's little things like this, I feel like, go a long way, especially with the fan base and feeling comfortable and team camaraderie, etc.
Absolutely. They just got to keep it up at this point. Obviously, it's a great like visual aspect to be like, oh, OTAs, everybody's there. Let's keep this energy going. Let's keep it
Yeah,
going through OTAs, keep it rolling into the preseason because again, like just the visual aspect looks good, but we have to continue, or I say we, the Bengals as an organization have to continue putting the pressure on these guys to make sure they don't have that slow start that's been extremely and painfully characteristic of them for the last
totally,
3 seasons at least.
totally. So yeah, nothing really of note on I don't know. I didn't really see anything about
Mm-mm.
OTAs, how it went. I mean, obviously it's more they're just kind of like working out together, just getting
Yeah.
everyone back in the building. So I don't know. I think it's good, in agreement. Most Bengals fans are in agreement that it's pretty solid that everyone was there and ready to get going.
Yeah,
But
it's
we
just the 2 question marks.
Exactly. Well, and we're going to get to that now. Is Trey Hendrickson, we've talked about him all offseason. Trade request. Some news came out over the weekend that the Bengals were focusing on new negotiations and believe that they can sign him to a team-friendly extension at some point. Now, that's all the news we heard from that.
Mhm.
And obviously, no show at the OTAs makes sense. But other than that, we kind of just heard this pretty important news dump by Diana Rossini and then didn't really hear anything else about it afterwards.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of just up in the air, but I do agree with the fact that they do need to sign him on a team-friendly contract. They don't exactly have the money to be signing him on a Trey Hendrickson-friendly contract, and they're also going to have to take a cap hit most likely when it comes to the Jermaine Pratt situation, because I think you and I both agree that he's not going to be a Bengal in any way, shape, or form anymore. They are going to have to absorb a cap hit when they either trade or release him.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to have to be in the Bengals' best interest, or I guess their only interest, to make a restructured contract for Trey Hendrickson, at least for a season, if not two. The only thing I think where the holdup is the last thing I saw is there was a setback. It's probably that's not what Trey Hendrickson, or especially Trey Hendrickson's agent, does not want that type of deal.
Agreed. And we've talked, feel like, enough about Trey Hendrickson this whole offseason. It's just kind of the same thing over and over again. We get reports that he is going to sign a new deal. Then there's been no movement. Then he's going to be traded. It's just the same stuff over and over again. And I don't know. I think it's nice that it's just one instead of him, Chase. I mean, imagine there's a world where Jamar Chase and T. Higgins aren't signed still, and we're just in limbo with all this other stuff going on all at the same time.
That was like last offseason.
Literally, it quite literally was last offseason, but it
Yeah.
would have been a lot more real this offseason right now.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to talk about just because it's been kind of, which is a relief, but also a surprise that it's been quite a calm offseason in general for the Bengals. Obviously, you had the little bit of the hiccup with the Chase Higgins, are they, aren't they? But I think everyone knew in the back of their head they were. It was just how much money were they going to be able to get out of the Bengals. It wasn't a detail of they were going to leave, because I think both obviously the whole way through showed intentions of staying.
Totally.
But I do think we're kind of in, like you said, like we're kind of in limbo right now, because it's just like it's OTAs, everybody's there, nobody's causing a stick about anything. Like right now we're just kind of in this nice little neutral zone where nothing has really happened yet in terms of injuries, anything like trade negotiations. Like there's nothing right now, which as a Bengals fan, you should be very happy to be in right now, because that has not been the situation as of late.
Yeah, it's been kind of a quiet month and a half, I'd say, for the Bengals ever since they signed the just like this big sigh of relief. I mean, and we talked a ton about the contracts and how such a great big step forward it was for everything. But I feel like we're kind of seeing the fruits of that decision played out right now with everyone being there. Not a lot of, there's just nothing going on. You know what I mean? It's just super easy. And I don't know, I feel like I don't have to really worry or pay attention as closely as I have in the past when it comes to this kind of stuff, especially with optional team activities like this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're in a good place right now. I think in comparison, if you look at other teams across the league, who some of them are still negotiating trade deals. I mean, there was a big trade deal that happened within
let's touch on that a little bit.
So George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys. It was a need that the Cowboys needed to address in the draft and didn't. And for the first time, what feels like ever, they trade for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
They take George Pickens off of the Steelers' hands, which again, it's just, what are the Steelers doing? Like, what is going on over there?
Yeah, I don't really know what their whole plan is. Right now, their receiving room is DK Metcalf and a bunch of number 4s, in my opinion. I mean, no disrespect to Robert Woods, but you're not a number 2 receiver, homie. Yeah, and Pat Freiermuth, who is fine, I guess. I don't know. I think he's good, but he's not a receiver. He's tiny. So DK Metcalf is your biggest weapon on offense right now. And I think DK Metcalf's great, but he'd be a number 2 on the Cincinnati Bengals by a mile.
He might even be a number 3 in the system that they run.
Yeah.
It's just interesting because, like, it's literally like right now the Steelers are in Aaron Rodgers or bust mode. Is he pulling another thing like he did with the Jets, where you see the likes of like an Alan Lazard or like a
oh my gosh,
all of a sudden come out of the depths and play wide receiver 2 for the Steelers? I don't think he's gonna be able to push Mike Tomlin as much as he was able to push back in New York with the Jets.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin is a little bit more set in his ways, but they've gotta figure something out. Like, we are almost in June. They've gotta figure
Yeah.
out who's playing quarterback because Mason Rudolph is not it. No offense.
I mean, George Pickens was just such a head case
Yes.
for Pittsburgh. And when he was great, he was awesome. But when the sky was falling down with him, man, it was crash and burn. Like there's no in between.
I almost wonder if something went down.
I think that's something happened. I agree.
I was explaining it to my mom because my mom is an Eagles fan. So of course she is like, "Who is George Pickens and why is he on the Cowboys?" And I was like, "If you look up George Pickens highlights, half of them are going to be these amazing deep routes that he can catch, and the other half is going to be him on the other side of the field, not looking at the ball, fighting with someone."
Yeah.
Because he was that way in college, he was that way in the league. Like, I genuinely am wondering if there was some type of behavioral incident that went down between George Pickens and Mike Tomlin, George Pickens and someone else, because the Steelers looked really locked with Pickens and DK Metcalf on either side of each other, but now they've let go of Pickens for a third rounder,
I
I
was going to
believe.
say third round
What
pick.
they got in return. I feel like that was a little low.
Oh, really? I think it's a little high.
Really? I was expecting them to take a second because they don't have a number 2 receiver.
I think a third round pick for George Pickens is pretty solid, in my opinion. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
Right.
I think, well, for the Steelers, essentially, if we're playing like a role play here, the Steelers clearly wanted to dump him. I mean, and they just stretched to see how far they could make it go. I mean, I would see a world where they would have traded him for a fourth or something like that. I don't know.
I was just intrigued by it because now with the lack of just offensive star power in general that you have, I would
Yeah, I
expect
agree.
them to try to get something a little bit higher because they have DK Metcalf, and that's about it right now.
Who's their running back?
I don't. Najee Harris just got traded, right? It's not.
He signed it with LA.
Yeah. So who is it now?
Let me look.
I can't tell you that I know
I can't tell you either.
because I knew it was Najee Harris, but I was like, I know he's not there anymore because he was their running back one. I
Jalen
think
Warren?
a name does not ring a bell to me. Not
Jalen
gonna lie.
Warren, Caleb Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, Cordell Patterson. That's a room.
Cordell Patterson probably is not even running back. He's probably more special teams.
How many teams do you think Cordell Patterson has played for? Let's look.
14. That is my guess.
That's a lot.
I think it's been a lot.
I'm looking it up.
He's like the Ryan Fitzpatrick of running backs.
He's 34. He was drafted in 2013. He's played for the Vikings, the Patriots, the Raiders, the Bears, the Falcons, the Steelers. It's only 6.
Oh, 6.
You were close.
Hey, just off by a little bit.
But it's funny. He plays like 2 years for these teams and then just gets
and then goes.
Because everyone's like, this guy's really good. And then you're like, well, he actually like kind of isn't. Yeah.
And then Kenneth Gainwell has been an RB3 for about 4 different teams as well.
Well, I'm looking at this depth chart they got. And Cordell Patterson's their 4th stringer. I love that he wears 84. And
it's a receiver number. It's like, he has like one play every year where he runs like a 90+ kick return, and then he just disappears off the face of the earth for the rest of the year.
So here's the wide receiver room for Pittsburgh, and now we're totally straying away from the Bengals, but I don't really care because this is a kind of a mess. DK Metcalf, Robert Woods, Calvin Austin are your 1, 2, 3. I think Calvin Austin's fine, but it's like
it makes the Browns look competent, which is saying something given the state of that franchise at the current moment.
The Bengals are just so blessed that they probably have the best receiving core in the NFL and maybe in the last 15 years on their team. If they keep it up. I mean, the way they're paying these guys is ridiculous and it makes sense. But I don't know. A lot of weird stuff going on with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll kind of see. Did you know Scotty Miller is on the Steelers now? The Tampa.
No.
Receiver? I didn't. I'm just like looking at stuff and he's on he's like the backup. He's like a backup. I don't know.
I was gonna say he's like another like receiver 3. Like they're not.
And he's like a receiver 5.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just saying in that depth chart, he's probably a receiver 3.
Yeah, he is. All right. So off the field news, our friend Joe
Yeah.
Burrow went to the Met Gala, and
Yes,
we
he
thought it'd be
did.
funny if we analyzed the outfit. So we have Joe Burrow up here. I mean, I think he looks pretty awesome right now. It's so
Yeah.
he is I was talking to someone about this. I mean, Joe Burrow is not just a Cincinnati celebrity. He not just an NFL football player. He is a worldwide mega celeb.
He is. I mean, there was a lot of NFL guys there this year that I can
Done.
remember.
Jets
There
was there.
Yeah.
I don't know who else. That's the only one I saw just because I
It
saw.
was Barkley, Jalen Hurts, there was another one that I can't remember, but there was another one. But, yeah, I like the monochrome outfit. It was nice. It would not be Joe Burrow if he didn't wear the
Oh,
sunglasses,
that's what
even
I was gonna
though
say. Yeah,
it was at night in New York. That's not surprising at all. I think he fit the theme pretty well, though.
I
Like,
don't
I
know
feel
what
like
the
it's
theme
a
was. I'm not into fashion.
the theme was tailored to you. I feel like this outfit was pretty tailored to Joe Burrow.
I agree. It
I
is.
feel like it's a
I would.
very Joe Burrow-esque outfit.
I really like the jacket
I
with
know, the jacket's really nice.
the
In
buttons.
this picture, you can't see it, but he has, like, light blue shoes on that are really cool too.
Yeah, he had they weren't like dress shoes, right? He was wearing like sneaks.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
not it was but they looked cool, but I feel like that's, like, another just Joe Burrow thing, like, if someone else were to pull up wearing that outfit and sneakers, it wouldn't look nice, but
I
it's
mean,
Joe Burrow.
I'd look. I'm trying to picture myself wearing something like this. It's just like I'm just not cool enough. I don't have the
That's
hair. I don't have the. I don't. I also don't have $500 million in my bank account either.
fair. He probably has more than $5 million in his bank account, to be
Yeah.
fair.
The man, this is gonna. I mean, back we said about the glasses. I mean, we've seen these before. We got this picture pulled up.
It's everywhere.
He loves the Cartier glasses.
It's a stereotypical Joe Burrow move.
I
Like, it
think
was
it's
the
so
most
funny.
Joe
I
Well,
like I actually kinda like the other ones better because you can't really see. I think it's weird if you're wearing, like, sunglasses and you can fully
you
see your
see
eye.
your eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but, I
but
mean, just, like, it is cool. Alright, well, that's enough Joe Burrow fashion, but, I mean, really, the state of he is a celebrity, like a mega
oh, yeah.
star. Like,
Yeah.
it's insane, and he plays for the Bengals. That's what I've
Yeah.
thought about that. It's just weird how
He's,
that all
like, probably
yeah.
one of the, like, most identifiable faces
Yeah,
in sports,
yeah,
probably.
yeah,
Definitely in the National Football League. I'd say, like, if you were to say who's the face of the league right now, it's probably Mahomes, just given what he's done. But I would say Joe Burrow's definitely up there for most recognizable faces, like, across American sports, period, which is
totally.
really cool that you have someone like that in the Cincinnati market.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, he's awesome. Blessed to have him
Yeah.
on our team. So, speaking of Joe Burrow, we'll be seeing him play soon. Schedule comes out on the 14th next
Yes.
week. We will have another we're getting back to these Thursday episodes, so we will turn right around on that Thursday and analyze it.
Yes.
But we're gonna make just a guess on kind of how we think the Bengals schedule is gonna turn out. I'm just gonna kind of blindside you here because we didn't talk about this, but it's
Oh gosh.
I want you to go down the line, tell me your favorite game, the game you're most excited for, and then they're gonna play at least one Sunday, one Monday, one Thursday night game. Give me your guesses for one of each of those. And then
Ooh,
I'll go.
okay.
Let's do like this. We'll go back and forth. Let's start with the favorite game, and then we'll ping pong
Okay.
with the Thursday, Sunday, Monday deal.
Do you wanna start or do you want
You
me to
can start.
start?
Go first.
Okay. Game that catches my eye, road game at Buffalo. I
Yeah,
hope it's in the winter. I hope it's in the snow. Would love to see a Joe Burrow, Josh Allen snow shootout in Buffalo. I think that would be very fun to watch.
we already
That's
saw that too. We've seen that
Yeah.
before. I think my favorite game and I'm going to try to stay away from the division games because those are good anyway.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to play the Bears because I think
Mhm.
there's a world where they take a big step this year. And I'm excited to see Caleb Williams play against the Bengals. And I don't know, it's at home. There's a lot of
Mhm.
Chicago people. in the Cincinnati area. It could be a pretty rowdy game to go to and fun.
Yeah.
And it could be a nice like early season. Let's kind of see how the Bengals roll. Look, I don't know, kind of excited. I think the Bears are going to be pretty good this year. So that's, I mean, looking down the schedule, there's not like a lot of the Bengals kind of have a tougher schedule this year. I feel like
They play the entirety of the NFC North, which was the best division in football last year.
And they're probably
and all of them got better.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. All right. Thursday night football game guess.
Ooh. I'm going to say, because I feel like they were like Thursday night football merchants last year when they play at Miami.
Yeah, I think that's a great one.
I think Miami was on Thursday night football all the time. So I'm going to say when they play at Miami.
That's like, this is me. That Miami Thursday night game is like October 22nd, Halloween
It
vibes.
gives prime Amazon Thursday night game footage.
And it's like raining, maybe.
And the graphic will be Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase. It will not even have Joe Burrow on it.
Yes. All right. I love it.
Okay.
My Thursday guess is home against Jacksonville.
That was my second pick.
Yeah. Because kind of like Miami, they are also Thursday night football merchants.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to try to give the NFL media is going to try to do one more last ditch effort on can we make Trevor Lawrence a star bit?
Yes.
And they'll do the Joe Burrow and him thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right, Sunday night game.
Oh, okay. Ooh. I feel like this is hard. I'm going to try not to repeat games, and I'm going to try not to use the division. I'm going to throw this out here. Vikings away at Minnesota Sunday night, because I think the Vikings are going to be phenomenal. I think personally, I think they're one of the most underrated teams in football right now, just based on who's in their division. But they were phenomenal last year. It just got completely overridden by the fact that the Lions were outstanding.
Yeah.
But I think J.J. McCarthy's going to slot right into that system. They've got Jefferson. They've got Jordan Addison. Their defensive line is outstanding. I would not be surprised if this is a middle of the season Sunday night football game.
I'm going to go with away at Green Bay for my Sunday. I think that'll be sweet. I think the Joe Burrow's first time in Lambeau. It's they should be good too. I don't know. It just kind of seems like a Sunday night game. I don't know.
Yeah. Can I tell you one that I know for sure will be a Sunday at 1 p.m. game?
I want to guess.
Okay, take a guess. I'll see if you get it right.
Jets.
No, but that probably I see like 4:25.
Okay.
My guess for a Sunday 1 o'clock was at home against Arizona.
I was giving my second guess.
Arizona is like I hope they have an amazing season. I hope Kyler Murray breaks the ceiling, but they are just like
so weird,
Mr. Irrelevant of football right now. Like they're kind of just like walking through. Like nobody says anything great about them. No one says anything horrible about them. They're in an NFC West that is like mid. Like they're just there.
Yeah.
Like this seems like prime. Like. So we don't give the Bengals all the primetime games. Here's their Sunday at 1.
Throw
and it's
it in.
Be against Arizona.
It's going to be on Fox. And it's the All right, Monday night game.
Oh, okay. I feel like I'm picking all road games, but wait, no, I'm actually changing last minute. I'm changing my mind. Home against New England, Monday Night Football.
Interesting.
Yes.
I like it though, because they're going to be frisky.
Yes, I think New England could be in the same area as the Commanders were last season. I think they have the potential based on that roster. I think they made all of the right moves in the draft. I think they made all of the right moves in free agency. We could see a Patriots season, maybe not to the AFC Championship game, but you could see them maybe make a playoff push in an AFC that it is very hard to break through unless you have all your pieces together.
I agree. I'm going to do Browns on the road for my Monday night. I feel like they play them on Monday Night Football every year.
Yeah, one of their division games will be
one
Monday
of their
night.
That's and we just for the sake of the game, we didn't want to do division.
All of the Ravens would be Sunday night.
Yeah. I'll pick at Denver.
That was going to be my other one.
Yeah. That'd be a good one.
Is
They're
it?
gonna get too. This Bengals schedule is tough.
Yeah.
Man.
They have I feel like Denver and Cincinnati would be a good Monday night game or potentially even Thursday because they're kind of in the same situation of like where
Yeah.
their teams are.
Yeah, I agree.
Like they're kind of in this. They just came off a close third place, just bounced. Well, Denver made the playoffs, but just sitting on the outside of those top AFC contenders.
Totally.
Both have what seems like their franchise quarterback, wide receivers. Obviously, Broncos have Pat Surtain, who's going to be one of the best defensive players in the league for the next 10 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. They have a hard schedule, so
Yeah.
buckle up, Bengals fans, because this is going to be a roller coaster of a schedule because
Totally.
there's no really easy games on this schedule
No.
at all because can't even argue with the divisional games because divisional games are a toss-up every single season.
Absolutely. Good episode.
Yeah.
We make a lot of good time out of like really not having anything going on.
I feel like we got a good run-in for
I
coming
agree.
in with knowing anything other than OTAs and Joe Burrow went to the Met Gala.
Oh, yeah. Joe Burrow went to the Met and some guys worked out on a football field, and we turned it into a 25-minute episode.
Yeah.
So,
Props to us.
I know. I'll say Joe Burrow went to the Met.
And it's not boring either. Like we made
No.
some fun predictions.
We talked about Joe Burrow's glasses. I mean, it's like nothing gets better than this.
No. Just a nice, easy day in the office.
Yeah. All right, Caroline. I think I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
Right, cool.
I think that's all we have for this week, really.
Yeah, really. So we'll be back next week. Full schedule will come out. We'll go game by game, I think. And then hopefully we'll get – and then I don't know. We'll kind of keep an eye on the rest of this stuff with the Trey McKinnon ordeals and maybe Jermaine Pratt's not on the team anymore. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But biggest thing is schedule comes out next week. I'm really excited. I love this schedule release because it just brings us that much closer to football season.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Welcome to the Jungle for Caroline Palmer. My name is Owen Timmerding. Enjoy the day, everyone, and Who Day.